Keep yourself in the loop of everything football on the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast. The latest news on and off the field, be it college football, Big Ten, SEC, Big 12, Pac-12, ACC to the NFL. We've got you covered. Listen to the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast.
Thank you for tuning in to the GSMC Football Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I am your host, your guy, DJ Youngs. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is a podcast. That means you can access it anytime, any place, anywhere. All right. And with that being said, you could be listening to it just on the other side of the world at 2 a.m. in the morning, which is, I don't know what time here. Maybe it's the complete opposite if it's the other side. So 2 p.m. Let's go with that. So I like to cover all the salutations, man. Greetings, everybody. Rundown of the show today. All right. New news. Going to get into some of your favorite segments. So we're going to do Reaching. That's the segment where, you know, I say some things with my chest with no evidence. And then we get into some fan coaching that's a little bit more of talking about what some teams need to do out here on how to make some adjustments. And then the fun facts, man, I had a lot of fun with last time, so we're going to do it again, put some more great information out there into the world, all right? Now, quite a bit of things in new news this morning. Well, it's not morning here. I don't know if it's morning there, but at this time, and just want to let you guys know, if it hasn't been obvious already, when it comes to the sports world, you can report on like scores, you can report on, you know, findings, decisions that were made, but that's just, of course, when it's time. You know, when it's outside of the season or you have none of that, everything else that involves anyone dealing with sports is news. You know, such and such was seen at a hot dog stand. Like, you know, it's just stuff like that. It's whatever. So, if you haven't picked up on that already or understand that, then, hey, this is my disclaimer. All right? But we're not starting off like that. As always, I try to start off with something, you know, that needs some respect on it, right? So, kicker Adam Vinatieri, guys. Yep. The OG, the NFL's all-time leading scorer, announced this past Wednesday that he's retiring after 24 seasons. All right, so he basically said, you know, because I watched a clip, this was on the Pat McAfee show. Shout out to Pat. By Friday, if paperwork goes in, you heard it here first. That's what he told him. You know, it's kind of one of those situations where, like, he wasn't announcing it, but gave him the hint. And, you know, they gave him his flowers. They applauded him. Vinatieri, he's 48 years old, 3-time Pro Bowl selection and a first team All-Pro pick 3 times. He scored 2,673 points for the New England Patriots and Indianapolis Colts, where he played his final 14 seasons. He made 29 game-winning kicks in his career, 3 of them coming with the Patriots from 1996 to 2005. He made a game winner in a blizzard against Oakland back in 2001 in the AFC playoffs, and made the game-winning field goal in Super Bowls 36 and 38. So definitely goes to show how legendary this guy is. There's no kicker. No kicker has more Super Bowl rings than Vinatieri's, 4, 3 with the Patriots and the 1 with the Colts. Oh man, I mean this is somebody everybody has to show their respect to. You know, I saw Reggie Wayne put a post, the receiver in Indianapolis back in the day. Vinatieri, he told ESPN shortly after he announced, after going on injury reserve in 2019, that he wouldn't have waited so long to have left knee surgery if he had to do it all over again. So he said he would have got it done. But still, 24 seasons, all-time leading scorer, 2,673 points. Like, come on, man. That's great. That's great. So, peace and blessings, man. Wish him the best on whatever he ventures into next. Should hopefully be a kicking school or something he can make big money off of, because everyone will sign up if they're a kicker for sure. All right. Next up, the NFL and the NFL Players Association have agreed to a salary cap ceiling. That salary cap ceiling is going to be $208.2 million per team for the 2022 season. They decided this on Wednesday as part of the league's continued effort to project the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on its short-term business. So, if you remember, guys, the cap is on the teams for a reason on how to distribute how much money they have to pay the players. Because that's the only way to make it fair. Different teams are valued differently, make more money differently, but all of them contribute to the NFL making money. So, of course, the NFL, gives the money to help pay for these things as far as like players. And there has to be a cap because you don't want all one team having just, if one of the owners is richer than the other, stuff like that, and then paying more players what they want and getting the best players. This keeps things competitive, stuff like that, pays for healthcare and all of that for the players, man. So that is going to be the new cap for that. The 2021 salary cap was already set at $182.5 million. So it going up makes sense. I don't know why they exactly did it this early. I think they should have waited. Because, like I said, you got to remember, we're expecting things to kind of get back to normal, but I don't know what made them adjust it so early. Who knows? All right. Excuse me. The Miami Dolphins, man, and Tua. So, apparently, Tua wasn't very comfortable with calling the plays his rookie season. They say that Tua has a better handle on playbook this upcoming season. He's getting more comfortable with it, because that's kind of how it came out. So, of course he didn't say I was uncomfortable. It was just more him saying I'm more comfortable now. And, you got to run with whatever the headline needs to be. So, rocking a new off-season beard and much louder line of scrimmage cadence. Tua basically he's been in a trance of focusing up on what he needs to get done for these guys, man. What he needs to do out here in order to be successful. The man isn't shaving. Clearly, he's focused up on getting better. He said he repaired his hip. He said his hip feels 10 times better than it did a year ago. Will Fuller chimed in and gave him, big ups and stuff like that, as well as Jalen Waddle. They give him speed, man, give him options, they give him what they need to do, what they need to have in order to be successful. Two exact words was last year, for me, I wasn't as comfortable, just in general, I wasn't comfortable calling plays. I didn't actually know the playbook necessarily really, really good, and that's no one else's fault but my fault. Our play calls were simple when I was in. I didn't have alerts and checks, where now I feel comfortable and can maneuver my way through things now. So, good, I guess. Does that mean we're going to expect more things? Tua went 6-3 after taking the starting role from Ryan Fitzpatrick. So, that's not bad. So if he kicks it up a notch, sheesh. I don't know, man. Should the division be worried? I don't know. I could be exaggerating, though. NFL, as we all kind of heard everywhere, expected, I guess, is relaxing COVID-19 protocols for vaccinated players. One thing I can say about the NFL, though, is I know they're going to do their due diligence in knowing who those players are, okay? No one's going to be able to finesse the system, whereas all these states and companies that are saying that, no one checks. No one checks at all. I was in Vegas, a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago for my birthday, and it was funny how many people just did not have one on, and even one of my Uber drivers was like, hey, find time to be here, huh? Aren't you guys excited? And we're like, for what? And he was like, because no mask, and he had a mask on himself, so I don't know how he really felt about it, but I'm saying all that to say, unlike the rest of the world, the NFL is going to make sure their money is good and they don't get themselves in anything that they don't want to be a part of, like COVID scandal and issues and stuff. All right. Lamar Jackson, he stated that he wants to be, he'll be happy to be a Baltimore Raven for the rest of his life. He hopes to make something happen soon on a contract extension. This came, I think it went through yesterday. He isn't sure when he will sign a contract extension with the Baltimore Ravens. All the former NFL MVP knows is that, like, it's coming. He said, his exact words was, "I would love to be here forever. I love Baltimore. I love the whole organization. I love everybody in the building. Hopefully we'll be making something happen pretty soon." However, Jackson, he's only 24 years old. Very, very elite athlete, okay, in the league. So that's why Baltimore is really leaning on him. He's scheduled to earn $1.77 million, so 1.77 million in base salary this season. Apparently it puts him at 23rd among all quarterbacks, so low on the end. But again, this is his 5th option year that he's in, for sure. Excuse me. His salary jumps up to $23.1 million in 2022 when he returns his 5th option in final year under the contract. Excuse me. So I got a little hiccups here, man. I'm trying to control them. All right. Next, talk about Jacksonville, man. Jacksonville, what they got there. Trevor Lawrence is in the news because he shouted out Tim Tebow. The Jacksonville Jaguars, signed Tim Tebow as a tight end last week, which puts the, former Florida star with his former head coach when he was doing great things. But yeah, Trevor Lawrence said he looks great. That's what he said on the podcast. He said he's just a guy that you want to be around. Character is awesome. Had a few conversations with him, and I can already tell. And he's just a hard worker. No one is going to work harder than him. Those are the kind of guys you want in your locker room and you want to be around every day. And then I'm excited to see what I can do on the field as well. We got in a few days, and he looks great. So he's awesome and in shape. Tim Tebow's 33, so I guess that says a good thing. I mean, during his downtime, he was doing broadcasting, but he still was. I guess had plans to come back to the NFL while he was playing baseball and stuff. I'm not sure, but yeah, he was playing for in the New York Mets organization, right? I think in the minor leagues. But yeah, he saw the end, man. Heard Urban Meyer's going to be the coach, man, and I'm pretty sure that's probably when he started really working on it, especially in Jacksonville, which I mentioned on here before is his hometown guys. All right, hometown boys. Okay, and then another quarterback in the news, man. In less than 12 months, Carson Wentz has gone from being the face of the Philadelphia Eagles to being a benched NFL quarterback to being traded to the Colts. Look, y'all thought that was the news. Y'all thought somebody came to the Colts, took his spot, huh? I know. But yeah, there's been just a lot of backlash, a lot of question marks on him. How much things have changed for a number 2 overall pick. He said, no. This quote comes from the Colts coach, Frank Reich. Sorry if I didn't pronounce that right. He said, "Humble pie doesn't taste good, but it's good for you, and so it's a chance for him to acknowledge he has to hit the reset button." So I guess that was just addressing it head on. But being that that's your depth chart first pick right now, I know that they should at least believe in him. Somebody that is no longer in the field, making things happen. with his hands is taking his hands to the ring. Chad Johnson, who is set up for an exhibition fight under Floyd Mayweather's pay-per-view fight coming up in June 6th to be exact. On that card, Chad Johnson, Chad is training with the Charlo brothers, okay, which is, hey, I'm not mad at him. He said, my goal is to get out alive. I want my face still intact. I want my kids to still know it's me, but I want to entertain. I don't want to embarrass those who put the time and energy into me. People who are buying tickets, people that are showing up, I want them to leave and say, I doubt it, Ocho. But to see him get in the ring, knowing that someone tried to kill him, he put on a hell of a show. It was more than a show, but we're just going to say a show. He said, I wouldn't step in the ring with Charlo or Canelo Alvarez, but the opportunity presented itself to move around with somebody who had skill and his ring experience, as I felt was adequate enough in shape and had enough background to do it with a huge amount of respect to combat sports. I couldn't pass it up. I couldn't pass up the opportunity. It's a lot to say about, what's going on lately with these exhibition fights. Seeing a football player get in there, just it's entertaining, but, Chad's 43. I just hope he, keeps it safe, keeps it healthy. I know he saw what happened to Nate Robinson. All these guys that's, want to kind of cross over. I'm not mad at it at all. It's just, make sure you prepare like Chad's doing, because don't want anybody to get hurt here. Former Penn State President Graham has jail sentence upheld. He was forced out as the school's top administrator when Jerry Sandusky was arrested a decade ago. So the judge ordered Graham, I'll make sure I'm saying his name right, to begin serving at least 2 months at the county jail several miles from Penn State campus on July 9th, followed by 2 months of house arrest on electronic monitoring for a single misdemeanor conviction of endangering the welfare of children. That's update on that story. It's a little bit older story about the situation, and then that's where they stand on it now. Okay, talking about some big money in these conferences. College football, the ACC distributes a record $497.2 million during the 2019-2020 financial year, which is an increase of $42 million. So good little chunk extra to the schools there. The revenue increased more than 42 over the previous year, thanks largely to the increase in television and postseason bowl revenues, which because everybody was at home, guys. Television revenue increased from $288 million the previous year to $332.8 million as the ACC network launched August 2019. That's also a help. These TV deals been getting these guys some good money. For sure, pushing it out there. The Big 12 conference is distributing $345 million of revenue to its schools. The second year in a row that the figure has been lower because of the pandemic. Each school will get about $34.5 million for the 2020-2021 fiscal year, down from $37.7 million. But I'm pretty sure they're still grateful. Something's better than nothing. Absolutely. These conferences, man. I don't know what I need to do to if I need to get my name somewhere in order to be, I don't know, a name of a school, guys. I'll play every sport and do what I need to do. Just send me some of this money. I need money. I need that much exactly, specifically. It will change my life. Okay. So we had somebody leave A&M, man, or transfer. Texas A&M receiver Cameron Buckley becomes Indiana Hoosier 8th incoming transfer this offseason. So Buckley graduated from Texas A&M in December and will be eligible immediately. It's one of those grad school situations, transfers. So he's 6'2", 190. He played in 39 games, making 4 starts and caught 62 passes for 877 yards and 4 touchdowns during his career with A&M. He missed all of the last season with an injury, but now he's back. He's ready, and he'll be in Indiana. Yeah, okay, that's fine. I'll watch a little game, Indiana Open Seat. No, I'm playing. Y'all know I'm not biased. I'm just joking. Happy for him. Happy, furthering his education and still staying the athlete that he is. But Indiana's first game is at Iowa, September 4th. All right, man. So good luck to you on your new journey for sure. Somebody else that is moving around, former LSU quarterback T.J. Finley. He transferred to Auburn, so stayed in the SEC, went to another school. We've seen this many, many times before with teams, with players, especially in the SEC, that are backups, didn't win their starting job, transfer to another school and start there. He announced this decision this past week on a video post on social media. He started 5 games last season as a freshman. He passed for 941 yards with 5 touchdowns 5 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. It's unclear if he had, a chance to compete with Bo Nix for the starting job, but I mean, context clues. So Nix has started every game for Auburn his first 2 seasons under, Coach Gus. So I guess, that was kind of a no-brainer that he's going to continue to. And Finley, I wanted his time now, I'm pretty sure. Which we can't blame him for that, right? So he decided to move on and do it big, right? All right. A committee proposed that the University of Michigan removes Finley Yost's name from the campus ice arena after a review of his work, including his refusal to let a black football player play a Southern school in 1934. He spent about 40 years in Ann Arbor as a football coach and I believe athletic director. His teams won 83% of their games, which was really big, which is why his name is so big there. He refused to let Willis Ward play against Georgia Tech, which was a response to a demand by that school. The decision greatly angered teammate Gerald Ford, who would become vice president and president of the United States. So this is some real older information here, guys. But it's just things come around all the time when it comes to that. I believe the committee had said a couple months ago or a month ago, it said this is a hard and controversial work, but without the reckoning, the path forward is obsolete. So that's their way of saying no one likes change, but we all know why we have to have it. And just to let you know, man, Yost did pass away back in 1946, so this is super old. I mean, I'm pretty sure his family feels a way about it. Everybody feels a way about it. But at the end of the day, everybody's just trying to do the right thing, I hope. All right, and last up, the Senior Bowl and the NFL will hold a pre-draft combine for top prospects for HBCUs next January. So they kind of get their own thing now. It's an inaugural HBCU combine scheduled January 28th through 29th in 2022. It's going to be similar to the regular NFL combine with interviews and on-field workouts, medical examinations, all of that. It's just that they, are going to focus on HBCU so they can stop being overlooked, which is really dope. All right, so that's all I got for the new news, man. It's time for a quick commercial break. We're going to get into this reaching, no evidence given, just straight what I'm telling y'all with my chest. We're going to get to that segment next, so stay tuned.
Are you looking for help for your fantasy football team? Check out the GSMC Fantasy Football Podcast. Get today's best advice on who to start, who to sit, even who you should draft. From sleeper picks to red-hot lineups, they got it all covered for you. That's gsmcpodcast.com/fantasy-football-podcast. We'll cover traditional leagues, dynasty, PPR, even IDP leagues. When you need fantasy help, there's just one show to hit up. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit gsmcpodcast.com for more info.
All right, welcome back. Thank you for your patience. I hope you enjoyed that little break there, man. We're in the region period at this time. You know, this is the segment that I come and I don't keep it as conservative as I do usually. I usually come on here, man, and it's not that I want to be everyone's friend. It's that I'm not a know-it-all. I tell you what I know. I tell you what I think. So with that, I always like to present it as take this with a grain of salt, as they say, or take it how you want. But this is what I think, but maybe I could be wrong. Well, this isn't that segment. I'm not wrong in this segment. I give it to you on what we know. And by no, I mean no evidence, just straight facts from me, nobody else, no research. All right, here we go, man. I'm going to start off with a real touchy one. And y'all gonna love it. And that is that Tom Brady will not win another Super Bowl. I know, and it's real crazy to bet against Tom. And now I feel like almost that I'm joining all those guys that's on the television that always say it and always lose. But I don't lose, guys. And I'm not saying that he lost it. I don't think he doesn't have the skill to do it. I just think, what are the chances? I'm going off of percentages here, man. Opportunity, comparing football to other sports, stuff like that. Comparing football to football's history. There's no way that this man is going to get another ring on the field. Now, off the field, that's different. He retires, he owns a team, he coaches a team, anything like that, absolutely. But him on the field at quarterback, there's no way this guy can go back. He's only playing another year or two, if that. Now, I know I said, I have predictions that that's not the case, but I think last time I said this is going to be his last year. But regardless, if I'm wrong there, I'm definitely not wrong here, man. Come on, man. Y'all can trust me. Y'all know that. This guy, he's up there. He wants to be with his family. That's what it is. He's going to want to hang out with his family, spend more time with his loved ones. I know time and time again they thought he was going to come home and he didn't, but yeah. Hey, Tom Brady has done his due diligence. He's going down as a Hall of Famer, the best to ever do it. He's going to break every record very well this year because he has no one else to compete with anymore because Drew Brees retired. All right? So this is a done deal. It's over. Close the curtain. Hang up the cleats. It was a beautiful career. All right? I'm definitely going to watch this year, though. Definitely going to watch probably all, if not most of the games. He's still going to be entertaining to watch. He just won't be the Super Bowl winner. Not even saying he won't get to the Super Bowl. He just won't be the winner. Okay? And I have been on here and said multiple times that I'm taking the field. Tampa Bay versus the field for the Super Bowl win, you have to take the field. Oh, my gosh. Like, I'm not a gambling man, but if I was gambling, that's just the only thing that makes sense, people. Okay? All right. Here we go. The leading rusher in this upcoming season. Look, y'all, everybody leaning in. I know y'all are. Is going to be. Take my time with this. I like making y'all sweat just a little bit. Just a little bit. Are you interested? Are you prepared? Do you know who it's going to be? Do you have an idea? Possibly. Josh Jacobs. All right. Now I know, whoop, that's not who y'all expected to hear. Now, I want to put the disclaimer. I have one small disclaimer, and that is, well, two disclaimers. One, Josh stays healthy. That's one. And then two, I'm not counting the rookies. I can't speak on their game, man. They play one way in college, and people play a different way once they get to the league. All right, so I just can't count them because they got some good ones in there, that I'm definitely gonna be interested to see it. And I mean, when has it been that a rookie came in and led in rushing anyway? So that's a rare occurrence. I think the last person did it was Zeke, huh? Zeke might have did it. But Josh, come on, bro. Let's talk about Josh Jacobs because he flies under the radar, one, because he's a quiet young man, and then two, because he's on the Las Vegas Raiders, who a lot of people are not out here respecting. All right? So he's due his big season. All right, he gets in here, he gets into the end zone for these guys and everything. Especially this last year, he had 12 touchdowns for the Raiders. When he came to the league in 2019, he only got to play 13 games. And with those 13 games, he still scored 7 touchdowns and had 1,150 yards. Okay, so what does that tell you? It's about that time. This upcoming season, you know what I'm saying? Everybody had a good little healthy break. He's coming back juiced. We understand that they're going to be rushing a little bit more, possibly, since they don't have the biggest deep threat anymore on the Raiders. So give him all 17 games. He plays all 17 games and is strong. We have ourselves the leading rusher of the NFL. Now, with that being said, I mean, of course, there are, people that you may want to watch, coming back. I think Saquon's going to have a good season. I don't think he's going to pull an AP coming back and, hitting a 2K and winning every award out there. I don't think it's going to be like that. When it comes to Kamara, he doesn't do enough rushing. He's an amazing top running back, but not enough rushing. So with not enough rushing, then, he does a lot of catching and everything else, jet sweep, stuff like that. That's going to pull away from those numbers. King Henry is always going to be King Henry. It's just, shoot, if you talk about reaching, imagine if I said he's going to do that again. Imagine if I said Derrick Henry was going to hit 2K again. I don't think so. Give you guys an idea of people just even in the running outside of the rookies. I mean, Josh Jacobs was number 8 on the list before it even number 9 being Lamar Jackson when it came to rushing in the NFL last season, right? Derrick Henry played all 16 games. I believe he was the only running back to play all 16 games in the top 10. All right, and then underneath him is Dalvin Cook and Jonathan Taylor. Look, I'm not knocking either one of them. I just think the Vikings may have a shakier season. And Indiana, it's just, when one thing goes wrong, a lot of things go wrong. So, being that Carson Wentz, I don't think that their passing game is going to be good. They're going to be trying to hand that ball off. And since everybody's going to know that he's handing that ball off, Jonathan Taylor isn't going to have the season he had last year. You getting where I'm going with this? Are you picking up what I'm putting down here? All right? This is a time of, it's the best time to take advantage for Josh Jacobs. Another guy I really like, the only reason he isn't picked, the other person that I would actually put above Josh is Nick Chubb with Cleveland. But I can't put him there because he splits his time. He's splitting his time with, why do I call him Kareem? Kareem Hunt. I don't know why I thought he had an L in his name, guys. But yeah, so since he's splitting his time, it's hard to say he's going to be leading. That leads us to say, we're going to have Josh leading the way, and I believe you'll have Derrick Henry, Aaron Jones, not that far behind. Those will be the next guys. All right? I think that's a really, really good, that's probably one of my most proud analyst predictions I've ever dropped, especially on this podcast, because I think that's one that actually could happen and be a really good, I might be able to send that tape in of me just saying that, and we might have to go to Vegas. I'm about to say I might get a job somewhere, but I might have to go to Vegas and put that down just a little bit. I know I said I'm not getting man. I know I'm not. I promise. Okay. All right, next up. This one's a feel-good one, man. It's almost like a Disney movie. All right? So you play for the opportunity that you always wanted, and you lose. It happens. But then you come back on top, and you triumph. I believe that Josh Allen will defeat Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs at least once this year. At least once. Okay, so that includes regular season and playoffs because they do play in the regular season. Week 5, to be exactly, Sunday, October 10th. And they're at Kansas City. I don't know if that's the one. But it can be. That's an option. And if he doesn't beat them there and they see each other in the playoffs, that's when he will beat them if they lose the first one. One of these, now, it's a bold one to say he's going to sweep them. But I'd say I can put out there that he will defeat them at least once and feel good about it. Now, the Disney part of it will come in the playoffs if that's the case. Which, can we really look past that after what we just saw happen in the Super Bowl and, you know, how last year went? How they even struggled a little bit against the Bills, the Chiefs that is. They had to really fight for their life in order to get that win, 38-24. Last season, during the regular season, so not in the playoffs, they were at the Bills, and Kansas City beat them 26-17. So it's never an easy battle. That's both victories. One victory less than 10 points away, and then the 38-24 in the playoffs. They just had got the touchdown at the end to make it that high. So both of those were very, very close. And in case it wasn't obvious, the leading passer was Josh Allen in both of those games. As a matter of fact, Josh Allen, I believe, led in every game as far as when it came to passing, because him and Diggs were doing numbers, man. Like, Diggs was the leading receiver, he'd be the leading passer, and there's no surprise there at all, at least if you ask me. And I'm an expert, remember, at least during this segment. Keep up. All right. Whew. Okay, guys. This next one makes my head a little light, and I'm nervous, but I'm going to say it. This year, Dallas gets it right. They win their division, no problem. They win. They go to the playoffs. Okay? Cowboy fans are going to be lit this year. If you have a Cowboy friend as a friend and you love another team, I suggest you block that person for 17 weeks, maybe a little longer. If you don't have a team like I do, like I don't, and you have a close friend that's a Cowboy fan like I do, then, you know, you just give him his props and you clap it up. Congrats, man. Look, y'all finally doing something out here. But, look, ever since the sad, sad day that I sat in Kyle Field and watched Dak Prescott destroy the Aggies, I've always felt some type of way about that guy. Not necessarily in a negative way, just like he just surprised me. I was like, who is this man? And his journey ever since then has been self-explanatory. All right? And this year he comes back, and it's already been in the news that he's doing well. He's out here speaking about mental health and stuff. Still sending, of course, prayers and love and everything to him and his family, as you know, he lost his brother to mental health challenges. That's why it's important for everybody. But yeah, Dallas, they got the weapons on both sides. They got who they believe is the right coach. He didn't succeed in his last role, but the role before that, oh yeah, that's the guy. So, Dan, if you got some pieces on defense now, man. Y'all picked up some good stuff. Micah, look, we expect great things out of you. I heard he's already talking that big stuff. So, hey, talk is cheap, but putting people's, you know what I'm saying, face in the dirt. They usually use another term when they say that, but putting somebody's face in dirt is how you prove yourself around there. So, I mean, I'm just trying to see some good ball, man. Don't y'all let me down, because somehow y'all got the best TV deals and y'all always on TV. All right, so Cowboys, get it together. Let's see what it is. Okay. So, worst record of this season goes to the Houston Texans. They already was down there struggling, but I now believe, especially Deshaun doesn't play. When he doesn't play, they don't got nothing. They already didn't have enough with him because they decided to destroy all these relationships. So without him, the Houston Texans will have the first overall pick in the 2022 draft. They will, I'm talking about not even just last in your division. So not even saying you're worse than the Jaguars, who just had to pick first. But you'll be worse than the Jets. Okay? There's more hope in the Jets than the Houston Texans now. The Houston Texans is one of the few, it's probably like 8, 9 teams that have never been to the Super Bowl or won a Super Bowl, never won a Super Bowl, I think. Either way, they're part of all that. They've never been, they never won. I think they've only won the division a few times, and then in the playoffs, they were only able to do so much. Like, let's talk about year before last when they just looked pitiful going against Kansas City. Really went up by, I believe, 21 real quick and just let it all slip away. So, can they be trusted? Of course not. Of course, it's a done deal, man, for the franchise for now. They're going to have to make some big changes, turn some things around over there. Hopefully they can make at least amends and keep Deshaun, because that's at least something to work with, work around, versus literally starting from the ground up next year with trying to find a quarterback. And we've seen what that process looks like with the Jets, of always trying to get the right guy, trying to get things going with, their situation. Texans might be that now, which all I can say is, Texans fans, at least y'all got a better color scheme to where, to show out. The poor Jets, I just feel sorry for seeing those people in that green and white and silver sometimes. It just didn't look too good. The chance. And hey, let me not talk about y'all. I don't know how y'all didn't switch to other teams. Like, if I was in a place like New York, I would definitely team hop. Whoever's hot, I'm with them. I'm talking about basketball and football. I'm going Brooklyn Nets lit. Okay, bet. The Knicks lit. Now, the Knicks are doing it too this year, not to switch over to basketball. So, I don't know. I guess you can stick with whatever team you want when it comes to basketball. But when it comes to baseball, football, and stuff, oh, yeah, flip, flop. I'm a flip flopper. I'm on here repping on whoever winning every time, okay? Okay. Now, keeping it reaching. I'm talking about straight, no evidence. Straight facts over here. That's what we do. All right? I'm going to say, I'm thinking he got healthy. Thinking he got stronger. I think Aaron Donald does a back-to-back leader when it comes to the award of not sacks, because he lost sacks to J.J. Watts, but defensive player awards. Because one would expect T.J. Watt to do it again. Go hard, do what he needs to do. Aaron Donald already gets, double teamed and stuff like that, and he won it. And I think that's what it is. What it is T.J. Watt had statistic-wise a better season, but Aaron Donald won the award, because I think you have to remember what's up against that player. T.J. Watt is a respected player, is a great player, is a tough guy to stop. I don't want to make it seem like he didn't go get it himself. But Aaron Donald is someone I think people are more than afraid of, to where they will risk everybody else on the line getting through to block him. Whereas T.J. Watt, I believe, hey, we throw 1-2 dudes over there, hope to at least slow him down, go away from him, stuff like that. They don't trust that with Aaron Donald. No one tries to put the play away from him, anything like that, because they know he can wreak so much havoc. Okay? Aaron Donald's coming back. I mean, he dropped, 13.5 sacks last season, which is only 1.5 shy of what T.J. Watt did in the first place. So, and he did this with an injury. He did this a little banged up. Okay? This guy, I believe, was it having elbow problems? I believe it was. I think it was elbow problems. Something like that. But yeah, he was able to still play all 16 games with, I believe, a brace on. Had 45 total tackles. 27 of those solo. 13.5 sacks, which isn't his best. Second to best. His 2018 season with 20.5 was ridiculous. And unmatched. But he also matched that 4 fumbles from that year. This guy is a run stopper, is a play disruptor, is the best in the league at his position. And I believe, honestly, that is going to happen. That's going to stay that way for at least the next 2 years. He might not win the award the year after, but he's going to win it yet again going into this next season. All right. Truth be told. All right. So that's what I got for the reaching segment. I hope you believe me. If not, just know I said it first. When you see it all come to fruition in the upcoming months. Deal? Well, not even the upcoming months, but like really like in the next almost a year. But yeah, you heard it first. All right, it's time for another quick break, man. We're going to come back, do some fan coaching. I'm going to tell some of these coaches what they need to do to have some success around here, man. Y'all know I want a Powder Puff championship, all right? I'm coach of the year forever. All right, we'll be right back.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for sticking around, man. We're into our third segment, fan coaching. This is usually where I would take stuff from, comments and, what people are saying. But since I don't have that just yet, you're hearing it straight from me. All right? This is what I think coaches should do. I'm speaking to y'all, okay? I usually will not do college because it's a little more complicated in my opinion. I feel like the NFL is a little straightforward. You know what I'm saying? But college, it's a little complex with these layers of players, okay? So with that being said, though, this is what I want to get at. I'm speaking at Texas A&M. Talking to you, Jimbo. I got to. I have to. It's the only school I can really talk. Jimbo, what you need to do this upcoming season is take your words and put them to action. Especially when it comes to what you said after winning the bowl game about Devon Achane. Now, Devon is young. I know. He's only a sophomore going into this year. And you got Isaiah Spiller. Somebody else that's very diverse is a nice Smith, but you can keep him diverse at what he's doing. But what I'm not about to sit here and tell you to replace Spiller. What I'm going to say is you need to have a two-back backfield, man. Y'all need to have a scheme where y'all use both of them to the best of their ability. Spiller and Achane. Like, that's what's going to be able to keep teams on their toes, not knowing what to expect from either one of them. And it opens up your pass option for your boys out there, Devin Price and them. Shout out Devin Price because he's also from College Station. And then shout out to Devon and Nias because they from Missouri City, which is where I'm from, guys. So that's what we do. That's exactly what we do. But look, if you see what we see on TV, let me tell you something. That did not happen by accident. What we saw there, that was not a coincidence. what we saw there in that bowl game. You put him in, and he delivered. Now, not only does he just deserve it, but you should want to reward him for that. Giving y'all that W like that. Man, that brother is cold. Good job, Devon. But that's all I got for the coaching in college. I'm just saying that I watch A&M the most. That's the eye test. I can't speak on nobody else like that. We just, I just go off of what I can hear, really, honestly. But, look, Jimbo, this is your show. You the one over here talking big smack to Alabama, talking big smack to Nick Saban. So I don't want to make it seem like, I'm the one that's going to have to eat my words or, make the decision, where it hurts. So now this isn't reaching, guys. You might have forgot. I can say that kind of stuff on here. Not reaching, I have to stick to my word. But on here, look, hey, if you don't, then okay. I mean, look, you still going to have Devon. It's college ball, so a lot of people try to use the best players at the peak of their moment right before they, pretty much leave for the draft, which I'm pretty sure Isaiah Spiller is going to do after this year. He's a junior. He's coming back, and he's projected to be the best running back as of right now in college football. So he's probably going to shine a lot. They probably won't give him his flowers. You remember, if anybody's been out of school and you play any sports, seniors get a lot of love, man. They get the respect, which is deserved. It is deserved. But we talking about W's here. We are talking about W's, okay? Wins. This is a winning situation. Be prepared. All right. That's all I got for you, Coach. That's all I got for you. All right. Back to the NFL, where things, like I said, are cut and dry and to the point. Okay. So, who is going to need adjustments? That award goes to the Detroit Lions. All right, the Detroit Lions, man, they decided that it was time for Matthew Stafford to go, which I can agree with. It was time for Matthew to go. But they decided that Jared Goff is the answer. No. That is something I don't want y'all to believe in. I'm sorry. No disrespect. But no. Y'all got some people. Look, y'all need to upgrade on a lot of ends, man. As of right now, your starting quarterback is Jared Goff. Your running back is DeAndre Swift. Your number one receiver is Tyrell Williams. Or, shoot, it might not even be him. It might be your rookie, Amon-Ra St. Brown, that you drafted. So you got no huge, big-time money makers on your offense. Okay, let's go look at defense, DJ. All right, you got Trey Flowers. Obviously, everybody knows about that. You picked up Levi Wondrowski. That's decent. So you got yourself a little D-line. When it comes to DBs, safeties, no. We need to overhaul. Y'all was supposed to make a big move for a skilled player, either a running back or a receiver, in order to be successful. So you know what you got to do now? With Jared Goff and stuff, you have to do whatever it takes to make sure you have the best O-line and give DeAndre Swift and Jamal Williams, who's his backup, the best opportunity to win y'all games. That's what you got to do. You got to circle your offense with Jared Goff handing that ball off instead of passing it. Picked up Penny Sewell, so you got the, you already was on the right track. You might already be thinking this, Coach. You might already be, along these ideas that I'm trying to give you here. And I want it to be clear that, Jared Goff has not just been the number one worst, but he's averaging about second, third worst. How? Well, he keeps giving the ball up, increasingly. So it started back in 2018. So about 3 seasons ago, he threw 12 interceptions. Then he threw 16 interceptions, which is, probably when the Rams started thinking about getting rid of him. And then he threw, this past season, he threw 13 interceptions. That's up there because I think the most was 15 with Carson Wentz, right? So that's up there. And it doesn't seem like it's getting better. Now he's on a new team. Maybe. That could be the case. His rushing, terrible. And we know this league is moving to a dual threat quarterback. So guess what, Lions? You need to make a move for one. I don't even care. Well, Teddy Bridgewater doesn't move like he used to, but you got to find somebody. Pick up things, take the advice, get out there, run the ball hard, have the best scheme, have the best. Shoot, you might even have to throw some trick plays in there. Be friendly with it, but get the job done. All right? Of course. I'm always here. Look, coaches, I'm here to help y'all. You don't have to thank me. I got y'all. I like to just, speak football. I mean, you can slide me, some tickets so I can come to the games, flights if need be. Absolutely. I'll be there to see you live. All right? Now. Oh, Bill. Bill Belichick, my guy, my mans. Look, I don't even really necessarily have anything as far as fixing what you do, because you do what you do. You're one of the best. We all know that, right? But I'm just trying to tell you how to prepare for your match, for your maker, for when Tom Brady touches down on that field. You got two options, sir. You either beat him or you retire. I know it's not that extreme, but Jesus, man, you need this win. This brother, Tom Brady, left the organization at will, went to a team that really wasn't all that good, but had what the pieces he needed to make them perfect in order to win the Super Bowl. So now you have to answer, Bill. So this is what you do, Bill. You do what you do best, which is take away his best options. Now, the problem is, God dog it, he got too many. So you can't take away all of them. So what do? You take away what he can't do. Well, no, you give him what he can't do, sorry. And what is that? Tom Brady's not a runner. Tom Brady's getting older. You cover that field with had them linebackers and DBs jump on everybody moving except for Tom Brady. Motivate the defensive line to get to him and pressure him. But if he ain't got nowhere to get it, he's going to play it safe. He's not he's not thinking about getting himself injured at this big age. And he's not trying to throw the ball away to the other team. So he's just going to get it out of there. And come on now. What's the most Tom Brady's ever rushed in the season? Nothing crazy at all. Matter of fact, I almost want to look that up while I'm talking about it, just to see what it may be. Okay? But yeah, Tom, we all know he's never been a runner. Ever. And it's not like it's coming now at the tail end of his career. That's not the case. So, Bill, you got to take away people's weapons, but now it's time to give them something. Give him this opportunity to run it. Now, watch out for the running backs because snap. Sorry. That was tough. My bad. All right. So, so in his time, in his career, overall, Tom Brady has rushed for 1,043 yards. The most rushing he's ever did in one season was back in 2002. 2002, yeah. So little young whippersnapper he was, just 2 years in the league. He rushed for 110 yards on 42 attempts. Now he's gonna average, around 30-something attempts. He's always had the most, up there. I think I see it's 49. But in his games, look, Tom ain't running nowhere, y'all. In those, because think about it, most of the time those are his little 1 yards, a couple yards to get to the goal line, just to cross the ball across it, stuff like that, red zone situations. That's where majority of that's happening. So if we're talking about down the field, them, starting the game off, then boom, that's your open opportunity to just take everything away. Now, this is all being, put out there with the idea and perspective that your DBs and linebackers are going to get the job done with stopping his guys. But I think that's what we all know, that needs to happen in order to be successful, Bill? Bill, I'm sure you thought about this. You know what to do. We know what to do, Bill. So just, go ahead and send me the ticket so I can, get the pass and everything from y'all to be on the sideline to help you coach that through, because I'm your guy. All right, Bill, we are one. I got you. All right. So my last prediction, not prediction, sorry. My last coaching reference will be going to the Philadelphia Eagles. The Philadelphia Eagles are not going to win the division. You're not. Like I already said in the last segment, that's believed to be the Cowboys, the Cowgirls, whatever you want to call them, whatever makes you happy. But they can put up a good fight. They could. I mean, they picked up Devontae Smith, who I believe everyone understands is not any sucker or anything. I don't think they are in the market. I haven't heard words of making any moves, but you know what you need to do here. Yeah. My coaching advice to you guys is use Zach Ertz for a solid trade. For whatever you need. I'm not even about to sit here and say what you need. You know me better than me. You know better than me. You know the guys you just drafted. You know the guys you signed in the off season. We started some camps, man. You've seen some guys do some workouts. It's getting there to where you need to make a move before it's too late. Okay? Get out there. Fish around. I'm an offensive guy, so I don't think it'll hurt. I think Dallas Goedert does fine at tight end. You got Devontae Smith. Now, maybe can you get somebody at running back? I mean, you got Miles Sanders, but I don't know, maybe get a new guy. Some rookies out there, so that's probably backing up somebody right now that could use that spot. I'm just saying. You got that. Or, get another receiver. Get a slot receiver. Because as right now, you only got two main receivers, and that's in Jalen Reagor and Devontae Smith. That's two outside. So, I mean, if you want to slot, I'm thinking running back, though. You already got Jalen Hurts, who's kind of like the dual threat, but you need somebody else for the defense to be scared of. Miles Sanders doesn't put enough fear in enough hearts, man. Miles Sanders might not be that guy. All right? So, definitely stay close to that. I think that's a good idea for you guys. All right. Hey, it's time for a quick commercial break. Come back and we're going to do some fun facts, man. It's about to get fun again. All right. Stay tuned.
This is your ultimate stop for everything sports. The Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast. Should I say more? From the NFL, MLB, the NBA to MMA, it's all in here. The Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast. Listen now.
All right, people, it is time for the final segment, and it is a segment that I'm really excited about. I have a lot of fun with because, I don't know, I'm a lifetime learner. I'm a nerd. Call me what you want. I just enjoy knowing things. I'm definitely a person that will come out of nowhere with you, I don't know, bringing out food or any random object, and I can tell you maybe a fun fact about it, or if you said you went somewhere and did something. I don't know. I just know things because I do stuff like this. I read, talk about it, listen to podcasts, watch documentaries on Netflix. That's just who I am. So if you're not interested in learning cool things about football, then you can go ahead and hang up, log off, do whatever. No, I'm kidding. Hey, guys, stick around. This is going to be some fun. All right. Hey. Fun Facts brought to you by NFL Fun Facts Instagram page. They got some pretty good stuff on here, so that's why I use it. Everybody else just makes like little pages about 101 things or 20 things, stuff like that. This one's a constantly updated one, so there's plenty of great stuff on here. Like literally, they're like in the almost 3,000s with counting how many fun facts they have on here. All right, so I'm gonna start off with something that interests me for sure because it involves one of my favorite numbers. Other than the first overall pick, the only pick to produce multiple Super Bowl winning quarterbacks is pick number 5. I told you guys 5 is my number last episode. So hey, that hint. I'm talking to you coaches out there, man. Look, the fit number 5. That's a lucky pick to have. All right, just know that it looks when it comes to Super Bowl wins, that's the way to go. Did you know Adam Jones is the only player in league history to record a sack on defense and also be sacked on offense? Now, I don't know what in the world that brother was doing, getting sacked on offense, but hey, it is what it is. Since 2014, no running back has more receiving yards, has more reception and no more receiving yards or receiving touchdowns than James White. Now, I'm not surprised. 2014 feels like quite some time ago, but when you really put it in perspective, it makes sense because James White, while Tom Brady was there, was, might as well have been a receiver if we're being honest. Fun fact. On opening day of the 2000 season, the Ravens beat the Steelers so convincingly that the Ravens tight end Shannon Sharp used the bulk of his time at the post-game press conference to give advice to Pittsburgh on how they can improve. Now, if that ain't sound like the most Shannon Sharp thing I've ever heard, I don't know what does. All right. The Saints have only won 2 playoff games in a row in franchise history. So, clearly this is the time they won the Super Bowl. And then, I don't remember when that time was, but that one, obvious, right? Did you know Dan Marino once went over a full calendar year without taking a sack? In September 25th, 1988 to October 29th, 1989. He played 19 games, 759 passes, 0 sacks. And I don't know why they have his name here. Instead, we should have 5 gentlemen that blocked for him name up there. Obviously, right? All right. A college prospect once hung up on Bill Belichick because he thought he was being pranked by a friend. I don't blame that guy. It sucks that he did that. I hope he still got to play. But I don't blame him at all. I don't. It makes sense to me. I don't know about you guys, but it definitely makes sense to me. All right. In the Super Bowl era, 3 teams finished a season having lost all of their games. That's the 76 Bucks, the 08 Lions, and the 2017 Browns. All 3 of them made it back to the postseason 3 years later. All right. Oh, sorry. Little nose over here. Okay. Here we go. We're going to go take it back a little bit. The longest rushing touchdown against the Seahawks is 10 yards by Ryan Fitzpatrick back in the previous season. Patrick Mahomes had 16 dropped interceptions this past season, which was an NFL record. Luck of the draw. In the fourth quarter of a 1983 game against the Jets, the Chargers had to redo a kickoff because NBC was still on a commercial break. On the re-kick, the Chargers allowed a 64-yard return and lost the game. Bruh. Hold on. See, this is the kind of stuff that interests me when you find out stuff like this. Because I didn't know this, obviously. I was not born in 1983. But, bro. I'm going to read it one more time, just for the people that missed it. In the fourth quarter of a 1983 game against the Jets, the Chargers had to redo a kick. It was a kickoff. They had to redo their kickoff because NBC was still on commercial break. And you know, look, hey, you know them TV deals. You know everybody got to see it if or it didn't happen. On the re-kick, the Chargers allowed a 64-yard return. Their guys were winded, allowed the return, and they lost the game. Oh, man, if I saw that, I need to Google this press conference, man. Hey, if I had a guy in here working behind the scenes, that would have been his job right now, is to find me the video to play for you guys, because I know one of those players had to complain about that for real. All right. No, like those. Okay. In 1974, following a 42-7 loss to the Dolphins, Falcons head coach Norm Van Brocklin challenged every reporter, broadcaster, and photographer to a fight. During the post-game press conference, he was fired the very next day. I'm not mad at him. I understand. Those reporters can be a little, And with that being said, when you just lost a game, all right, either real close or real bad, you ain't trying to have that kind of stuff coming across your eardrum, man. You ain't trying to have those issues. All right. Excuse me. In 1986, the Bucks used sodium peroxide on running back Joe McCall in order to get him to admit that he was faking his knee injury, which would allow them to get rid of his contract. When that didn't work, they placed hidden cameras in his hotel rooms and hired people to follow him. Yikes. That's a bit much. It was sodium pentothal. I don't know what that does. I don't know why they were going after this brother like that, but okay. I guess. All right. In the 2019 year, Chris Godwin had more targets without a single drop than any player in the NFL. Makes sense. In 1982, the Cleveland Browns players voted 74-0 to shake hands with their upcoming opponent as a pregame show of union solidarity, despite owner Art Mondale threatening to fine them $100 each if they shook hands. That's good sportsmanship, brother. Wow. I don't understand how that is a thing. Like, what? I get it. Competitiveness. People do it all the time. It happens. But that ain't the way to go, man. And then saying that you're going to charge them, man, that ain't right. All right. 1996. I got a lot of history ones here. I like these. 1996 NFL draft. ESPN announced that a player got drafted in the third round by the Packers. What was the problem? Well, the problem was ESPN showed the wrong name, and he wound up going undrafted because they thought he was already drafted. Kicker Don Chandler told the Giants he'd retire if he wasn't allowed to spend the whole week at home, skip all practices, fly for the game, and fly right back. He must have been quite a kicker. Well, he wanted to do all that. Like, you don't need practice, brother. You don't need to be with your team. Ooh, people was entitled back in that day, man. Look, here go another 96. What was going on year 96, man? Y'all gotta get together. In a 1996 game against Arizona, Washington had the game-winning interception and 2 game-winning field goals negated by penalties. Washington lost the game in OT and missed the playoffs by half a game. Bro, I was sitting here trying to figure out where was this going? Oh my God. One more time. 1996 game against Arizona. Washington, then Redskins, now football team, had the game-winning interception and 2 game-winning field goals that were made that both got taken back and offset based off penalties. Washington lost the game in OT and missed the playoffs by half a game. Everybody's pissed, I'm sure. Like, the coaches, especially the players, whoever got the penalties, the fans. That might have been my last day. I'm not going to lie to you. That's wild. Oh, my goodness. All right. In 1967, Saints head coach Tom Fear said that this new quarterback, Gary Cuozzo, was just as good as Johnny Unitas. Cuozzo lasted one season in New Orleans, and in a 16-team league, finished 17th in the touchdown passes. Yikes. During his time with the Panthers, Cam Newton went 2-0 against the Patriots, scoring 7 touchdowns and posting a 128.2 passer rating, which basically means Cam Newton always tore up the Patriots, which is why he plays for them. Obviously, guys. So that's what Bill Belichick is aiming for, while he has, Cam over there and brought him back. Okay. During a 2007 Sunday Night Football game against the Saints, Seahawks head coach then Mike Halgren was furious with NBC. Not only did a camera fall and nearly injure 2 of his players, but one angle blatantly showed Halgren's entire playbook. Oh, yikes! So yeah, that whoever's these camera guys got chewed out. I'm sure. Not even by just coach, by their stat, like showing playbooks, showing playbooks, and almost injuring play. Oh yeah, he was done. That's a done deal. Didn't want to work with them anymore. Come on, NBC, get it together, man. How many times y'all gonna be on this fun fact one with some nonsense? In 1994, a game against the Patriots, Colts quarterback Don Majkowski. Now, mind you guys, I don't know these people. I wasn't there for this, so I can't pronounce his name. For some reason, he tried to. What did he try to do? He tried laddering the ball. It immediately got intercepted, and he never started another home game for the Colts again. Yikes. One mistake. That's all it took. From 1976 on, the Minnesota Vikings have periodically returned to the NFC Championship game every 11 years. Okay. I guess that's something to take note of. The last time was in 2009. Okay. So, did they just miss it back in 2020? Did they go 2020? Was that... Wait. Trying to remember if... No, not at all. Only Tom Brady and Drew Brees have more Pro Bowl selections, which are 9, than Bengals defensive tackle Geno Atkins over the last 10 seasons. Noted. All right. Chris Hansen once had a season-ending injury after he hit himself with an axe doing a pregame ritual. You gotta hate doing that stuff kind of happens, right? All right. In 1971, Coach George Allen traded the club's 1973 first-round draft choice to the Jets. Then he turned around and dealt that same exact pick to the Rams. He would do the same with second and third round picks too. No one noticed those trades netted 4 players who helped the Redskins make their first playoffs in decades. So he made all the moves that shout out to George Allen, man. Made all the moves needed to get them successful and didn't even get the credit he deserved. Shaking my head, man. We gotta do better here. Mitch Berger kept a Snickers bar in his shoe during games. After he punted, each time he'd go over and take a bite, wrap it up, and put it back in his shoe. It's a weird ritual, dude. Mitch, I don't know what's up, but that's weird. When Dwayne Bowe was arrested for weed in 2013, he asked the police officers to take him to Sonic from the back of the squad car and refused to go to jail until he got his Sonic. He might have already been under the influence. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Fact. Robert Arce, who owned the Los Angeles Rams, traded the team to Carroll Rosenblum, who was the owner of the Baltimore Colts at the time. This was a straight-up swap for teams so that Rosenblum could own a team in L.A. and wouldn't have to pay capital gains taxes like he would if he had sold the team and bought the Rams. Oh, guess that makes sense. To avoid taxes, that's what rich people do, huh? Yeah, I'll get there one day, guys. Turk Edwards had a career-ending injury on the coin toss. Oh. Mind you guys, if you don't know who Turk Edwards is, the picture is very old-timey. It's in black and white, and they have leather helmets on. So that shows you about how long ago it was. All right, Jalen Reagor. So I mentioned him earlier as he's now on the Philadelphia Eagles. In high school, he jumped an even 26 feet in the long jump. And for people that are unfamiliar with that comparison, that would have placed 10th among competitors at the 2016 Summer Olympics. So that means he was the 10th best in the world. This guy goes flying, man. Mind you, football players, basketball players are all freak athletes, especially football players. Freak athletes because they, are usually multi-sport athletes. All right. The Arizona Cardinals are the only team with 3 1,500-yard receivers in David Boston back in 2001, Rob Moore back in 97, and Roy Green in 84. All right, we're getting there, man. About to wrap things up here soon, so let's find some good ones to keep it going. Charles Hennigan will become the first NFL receiver to elapse that 1,500 marker with 1,746 receiving yards in the 1961 year. It took 35 years for that record to be broken by both Isaac Bruce and Jerry Rice in 95. Interesting, Brandon Marshall, which, who now has his own podcast and a little YouTube series. Check it out. Brandon Marshall is the only player to record 2 1,500 plus yard seasons with 2 different teams. Okay. That brother can catch, man, get it done. I believe with the Bears and the Jets, if I'm not mistaken. The following teams have never had the number 1 pick. The Broncos, the Ravens, and the Seahawks. I guess that's a good thing, right? Because that means your team was decent, right? I think. I could be wrong, but pretty sure. In 1920, we're going back, guys. We're going way back. In the 1920 game against the Rock Island Independents, Dexter Stanley, who played for the Bears, he was the center. Dexter Stanley's center, George Trifon, injured 4 players and was chased out of the city by angry fans. Yikes. 1972 NFL draft 17th round. Falcons head coach Norman Van Brocklin turned to his staff and yelled, Do we want the roughest, toughest SOB in the draft? He proceeded to draft movie star John Wayne, who was 65 years old at the time. Pete Rozelle did not allow the pick, which I believe he was the commissioner at the time. Yikes. Alan Frenick was only called for holding 8 times in 206 games. 1 was offsetting and 3 were declined. So technically, Allen had just 4 holds in 206 games. That's impressive. That's very impressive. As we know, Jameis Winston had more interceptions in 2019 than 26 NFL teams had total turnovers. Yikes. That was bad. The Packers had the worst point differential of a 13-win team in the past 31 seasons. Too close of game, guys. In 1992 NFL draft, it's the only one where the first 2 picks were held by the same team. Indianapolis had the first and second pick back in 92. The lowest drafted quarterback to win a Super Bowl is Bart Starr, who was drafted number 200 in the 1956 draft. Yikes. Hey. Got him a win, though. The 2016 Cowboys had a streak of 8 consecutive games with at least 400 yards. They were going off, I gotta admit that. Tied for the longest single season streak in NFL history. 07 Pats and the 13 Broncos. All right. We got some good ones here, man. Larry Wilson once intercepted a pass with 2 broken hands. Don't ask me how. That's just what the fact says. Joe Thomas was on a boat fishing when he got drafted. That's a fun way to get that call. Relaxing, doing what you love to do. In 2014, Danny Amendola, he caught more touchdowns in the postseason than he did in the regular season. Why? Because nobody was holding him because they wasn't scared of him. And now he's sneaking around behind y'all catching him. All right, let's throw it back. Matt Castle. He's the only QB in NFL history to throw an interception on a called interception, intentional grounding. Matt Castle is the only quarterback in NFL history to throw an interception on a called intentional grounding. We'll keep it moving. George Kittle had more receiving yards than any tight end in NFL history through 3 seasons. 2,945, the most catches by a tight end through 3 seasons, 219, and the most receiving yards in a single season by a tight end, 1,377. So, that brother is cold. All right. But yeah, so I'm going to wrap it up right here. I saved 2 really good ones for you guys. A little more, I guess, just relevant here to update. So only one tight end has ever surpassed 1,000 yards in his rookie season. Mike Ditka did it in 14 games in 1961. Now I don't know, Tim Tebow, you can count this as a rookie season still. I mean, a new position, new team, who knows? But hey, wrapping it up. 1 year ago, Tom Brady and Phil Mickelson were partners in a golf match for charity versus Peyton Manning and Tiger Woods. Since then, Brady became the oldest player to win a Super Bowl at 43, and Mickelson became the oldest player to win a golf major because Phil Mickelson just won that. Okay, so and he's at the age of 50. So shout out to both of those individuals. That's a very cool stat, and I hope you guys really enjoyed the fun facts today. I hope you enjoyed the whole show, but it's about that time, man. As always, I appreciate you so much for tuning in, checking me out, listening to the show. Please make sure you're also checking out the other shows. Subscribe, check us out, leave reviews, tell us what you think. We'd love to hear the feedback, and as well as follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. All right. Thank you. Good night. Good morning. Good evening. Whatever one is best for you. We'll see you later.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network, from movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.